Hi, Johnette. Can I do a quick microphone check?
Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Shelly, it looks like we still have some folks coming in, so I think we'll give it probably until about 3 after.
Okay, sounds good. Hello.
Hi, good afternoon. We're going to get started in just a few minutes. We're letting some folks get settled in.
So this is Senator Neal. I'm not going to be able to stay on, but I'll be able to get back on in about 30 minutes.
Okay,
But
thank
I'll
you.
wait for roll call. Yeah.
Shelley, I think in the interest of everybody's time, we might be able to get started. I think we've just hit quorum, so I think we might be able to get started.
Okay, let me go ahead. We are recording already.
This is Ryan. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
I don't know what member that was that said they had to depart early, but if they would break quorum upon leaving, is there any action items other than, let me look here, other than the minutes from last time? I think it's just the minutes. So as long as, if they could just stick around till the vote on the minutes, which is the only action item, that'd be great.
Okay, thank you, Ryan. All right, let's go ahead and get
Yep.
started. Good afternoon and welcome to the Governor's Interagency Advisory Council on Homelessness to Housing. This meeting has been publicly noticed in compliance with Nevada's open meeting law. Chair Tim Robb will call the meeting to order.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Shelley. Good afternoon, everyone. It is 1:02, and I would like to call this May 23rd, 2024 meeting of the Nevada Interagency Council on Homelessness to order. Shelley, would you mind doing the roll for us?
Sure. Chair Tim Robb,
I am here.
Senator Dina Neal,
Here.
Assemblyman Max Carter,
Present.
Deputy Director Emily Testweed,
Here.
Administrator Robert Thompson,
Here.
Administrator Stephen Acroft,
Here.
Colonel Mary Devine,
Here.
Lieutenant Christopher Gorell, Sheriff Jerry Allen,
Here.
Judge Mike Montero, Dr. Katrina Grigsby Thetford,
Here.
and Judge Christy Craig. All right, Chair, we do have quorum.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody, for being here. I think with that, we can move into agenda item number 2 on the agenda. This is public comment. This is our first section of public comment. No action may be taken on a matter raised under this item until it is specifically agendized. Comments may be limited to 3 minutes. If you are making public comment via phone, please call 1-775-321-6111, and the meeting ID is pound 221 649-343, followed by pound. We are now open for public comment. Is there anybody on Teams that would like to make public comment? Hearing none. Shelley, is there anybody that is written in for public comment?
No, there's not.
Perfect. Is there anyone on the phone that would wish to make public comment? I believe you may need to hit star pound to unmute yourself, or star 9, maybe star 6, one of those, to unmute yourself. Okay, hearing none, I think we can move quickly into agenda item number 3, discussion on approval of the meeting minutes from the April 25th, 2024 Interagency Council on Homelessness to Housing meeting minutes. Does anybody have any concerns with what was presented by staff on the meeting minutes from the last meeting? Okay, I would entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
Robert Thompson for the record, motion to approve.
Awesome, thank you, Robert. Do we have a second?
Mary Devine, I second.
Thank you, Director. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Fantastic. Motion passes. We will now move into agenda item number 4, update on progress on the AB 310 from Administrator Acroft. Go ahead, sir.
Good afternoon, Chair, members of the committee, Steve Acroft for the record. Giving you an update on AB 310 and the progress the division has made. It's been a lot of moving pieces here in the past month or so, and will continue to accelerate as we move to the fall. So just a brief update. Draft regulations were sent back to the division from the LCB. The file number of the regulations, for anybody's edification, is R078-24. When they were returned to the division, we scheduled a public workshop on those regs. That workshop was held on May 16th. In attendance was the bill's sponsor, Assembly Speaker Pro Tem Danielle Moreno. So it was nice to hear the author of the bill in those regulations to get her take on exactly what was happening. So the division presented the regs, listened to suggestions, and we will continue to work with Assemblywoman Monroe Moreno to amend the language in the bill. Just for those who are unaware of the state process, the next step is an adoption hearing in which the administrator, that's me, will adopt the language for submission to the Legislative Commission. And at the adoption hearing is where the final language will be presented and approved. That meeting currently is scheduled for June 18th. After the adoption hearing, it will go to the Ledge Commission and for approval, and assuming it's approved there, it becomes effective and we can begin to launch the program. And so the division has been working on a program, and with the chair's indulgence, if I could share my screen, I'll kind of walk through that program, draft program design.
Absolutely.
Hopefully you see that.
We sure do.
Okay. So this is the draft, and we will be holding a roundtable on the program design to gather input from stakeholders. That date is currently to be determined, but it will occur before the adoption hearing on June 18th. And our intent is to let everyone on this board we'll make you aware of exactly when that will occur. So I'm going to scroll down here a little bit. Per the bill, there's basically 3 objectives. And that's to increase the supply of supportive housing, build the capacity of supportive housing industry to reduce homelessness, and evaluate the effectiveness of the intervention in Nevada. So you'll see here, objective 1, increase the number of supporting housing units through the state by funding supportive housing projects. And again, as this has been emphasized previously, this is not, it's kind of not worded very clear here, but effectively, this is not for bricks and sticks. This is for support services. So we'll work on the bricks and sticks, but combining it with the $30 million program to provide the support processes to those developments. Objective 2 is a $1.5 million objective, building the capacity, and then there's $700,000 allocated towards the evaluation and determining the effectiveness of the funds. And those are all statutorily, what's the right word I'm thinking of? Statutorily defined, so we can't necessarily change all that. The entities that will be eligible for the funds currently include any public or private nonprofit working in this space, a housing authority, or local jurisdiction. So those are the eligible entities. The tenant eligibility is going to be at or below 30% of area median income. And to be eligible, a person effectively is going to have to check one of these next few boxes regarding homelessness, needing medical assistance, behavioral health issues, turnover in home caregivers, or be at risk of homelessness. The criteria to be evaluated are the following. And again, this is draft. That's why it starts with number 2. So we'll correct that. So the experience of that entity in providing supportive housing, the delivery, the type of support services that are being provided, the demographic of the tenants, the cost of providing the support services, the outcomes, the geographic location, sustainability, amount of funds being leveraged with potential other sources, and any other criteria that the division determines applicable, so sort of a catch-all. So I want to, again, emphasize this is draft. I'll scoot down one more page here. So all this can be determined and changed and modified through stakeholder engagement at the roundtable that we will be hosting sometime in the next 3 weeks. Our proposal currently is to divide the 30 million bucket into 2. One is support services at 15 million. That is only for support services. The second 15 million will continue the services, but can also provide some operational support, such as rental assistance to the residents, things of that ilk. The third is splitting up the capacity building into organization and training, and then and planning, actually, and then we'll do one award for the measurement and evaluation of the program. So if I scroll back up here, it gets up here. Okay, let me scroll down. Here we go. So you'll see that we have tentatively identified it as opening up in July 1st. Again, this is on the draft. Realistically, that's not going to happen because we want to get approval by the Ledge Commission before we engage the program. So that might be depending on when the Ledge Commission meets and the approval of the regulation. Probably July 1st is not going to happen. It'll probably be kicked back a month, possibly 2. But the idea is effectively, once the Ledge Commission approves the regulations, we'll already have the program design set up and ready to go. We'll accept applications for a month, and then we will be awarding within a month after that. Now, per AB 310, we need to consult at some point with this group in the awarding of the process before we actually make the award. So it's great to see the turnout on this particular meeting, far exceeded quorum. I will let the group know that we'll probably have something, I'm going to guess, early fall or late summer to present specifically exactly what these proposals are. So that should be a pretty exciting meeting, and I hope everybody can make it. So with that, I'll stop sharing my screen and be available for questions.
Fantastic. Thank you, Administrator. I know this has been a lot of work to get to this point, and I know the work's not done, but appreciate everything that's gone into this. Does any member of the council have any questions for Administrator Aycroft? Hearing none, I do have one. Is it possible, is that posted somewhere, that draft language that maybe members could go check out in its entirety?
I'm not 100% sure. It's not posted publicly yet, but I can certainly provide to the committee secretary the draft, and she could forward it on to committee members. It will be posted, I'm sure. We'll have to publicly notice the roundtable at some point, but I think we'll give that as much notice as we possibly can. But hopefully it will be available on our website for a week, but I'll get it to the committee secretary if she does not have that yet.
Fantastic. That would be great. And I think as far as planning for a meeting in between, just keep us in the loop and we'll figure out how we can get everybody on to work through the process that's outlined in the Assembly Bill 310 to work through it and make sure you guys have it as expediently as possible so that we can get the money moving. So we appreciate being involved in the process, and the updates have always been great, and appreciate all the work that's being done. So,
thank you.
all right, hearing no questions, I think unless there's any before we move on, I think we can move on to agenda item number 5, an update on the Interagency Council on Homelessness Technical Assistance Subcommittee. Michelle, are you ready to go?
I sure am.
Awesome.
Good
Take it away.
afternoon, Chair, Council. Thank you so much. Michelle Fuller-Hellauer, Winged Wolf Innovations, and Chair for the Technical Assistance Committee. So thank you for the opportunity to give you an update. We very short and simple update for you this month, since we had an update last month. We continue to meet monthly and continue to work diligently on the action plan to go with the strategic plan. So at this point, the work groups or the work teams for each strategic issue have been submitted and are being compiled. And at this point, we are kind of combing through those proposed action steps, because we identified that there's some overlap that has come through. So we are kind of delineating where action steps really belong, and kind of cleaning that up and identifying where we still have some holes and gaps, so that we can ensure that what we put forward, bring to you all, is as comprehensive as we can possibly make that. So with that, we also had some turnover on the Technical Assistance Committee. So we had some new members that had been voted in our previous meeting. And yesterday, Shelley and I were honored to be able to do Tuesday, we were honored to be able to do an orientation for our new members. And I think that went really well. And so with that, we've been working hot and heavy so that we can get information to you all in preparation for the next legislative session. So with that, I'm open for questions or further direction.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And thanks for all that you do. Does anybody on the council have questions for Michelle? Okay, hearing none, I think we might be able to move on to agenda item number 6. Thank you so much, Michelle. Discussion of agenda items for the next meeting, which is currently scheduled for July 18th of 2024. Does anybody have any ideas on what maybe should be added to a future agenda?
This is Dr. Katrina here. So as you guys may or may not know, I hold a lived experience seat on this Council on Homelessness to Housing, and we oversee independent contractors who are individuals with lived experience of homelessness and housing instability. My agency holds a contract with Clark County for lived ex-consultants, and a Clark County with Washoe County for Lived Experience Advisory Board. They're doing a lot of work in the community, and so as the individual that holds that seat, I think it's important that we elevate their voices of the work they're doing on the ground to provide feedback, assistance, doing secret shopper experiences and focus groups in communities to highlight what needs to change. I think it would be great to invite those two groups to do 2 separate presentations on the work they're doing in the community, as well as recommendations they've made. So it doesn't matter if they're in the same meeting or in 2 separate meetings, but I think we need to highlight that, because as we know, people who are closest to the problem are closest to the solution. And so that is my recommendation for a future a future presentation.
Fantastic.
At our meetings. Thank you.
Absolutely. That sounds great to me. And we'll work with Shelley to make sure it gets on the next agenda, and we can go from there. If you wouldn't mind being kind of the coordinating piece to make sure we have all the contact information we need for presenters and all of those pieces, I think that would be great. That sounds awesome.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have any ideas? Okay. Well, I think with that, we can move on to agenda item number 7, public comment. No action may be taken under a matter raised on this agenda item until it has been specifically added to an agenda. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. If you're making public comment via phone, please call 1-775-321-6111, and the meeting ID is 221-649-343, followed by pound. We're now open for public comment. Is there anybody on Teams that wishes to make public comment? Is there anybody on the phone that would like to make public comment? Okay, hearing none, I think we are good to close out this agenda item number 7 and move into adjournment. And I believe, unless council says otherwise, I think we can just adjourn by stating that it is 1:22 in the afternoon, and we are adjourning the Nevada Interagency Advisory Council on Homelessness to Housing. Thank you all for joining, and look forward to seeing you guys all in July.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.